Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe. Welcome to SNES's Life, recap number 105. We're going to be talking about Rise of Robots, which you can see is already playing here, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Bridge Simulator, Street Racer, Power Instinct, and Pieces. Let's begin. Rise of the Robots was 110% a cash grab attempt to eke in on the 90s fighting genre. It, you start with Street Fighter 2, really is where it came into its being, and then Mortal Kombat on the tail of that, and then everybody and their mom, as far as developers, made a fighting game. And Rise of the Robots is exactly that. You are a weird looking, goofy kind of looking robot, and you fight other robots, of which, by the way, there's only like five. So there's very little choices to characters. The move set is very limited. It is a punch kick game, like weak punch, strong punch, weak kick, strong kick. It is a hold back to block. L and R aren't used. It's very, very stiff and very, very clunky. It did not feel fun to play. It felt like a task more than a game. The music was not particularly stand out in any way, nor was the sound. The difficulty was fairly okay. It felt a lot like the different robots, as I guess it would, had different feels as far as like this one I'm fighting had really long legs, and as such, it could kick me from a fair distance away. Whereas some of the other ones they kind of had to be right next to you, which is nice. They at least got that part right. But for the most part, it just played awful, and it was not fun. And it felt very much like just a company putting out a subpar game to try to make money off of something that was popular at the time. I would definitely not recommend Rise of Robots. It was pretty shit awful. Next up, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Starship, Bridge Simulator, or some shit. Like, it's got the most stars in the title ever, and it's awful like that. This game actually felt a lot like Wing Commander did. So what you're seeing here is the bridge itself. I'm actually running a mission here. But between missions, you're presented with a static screen that is like Starfleet Academy in the background and a set of menus at the bottom. You can go to class, you can go to the simulator, you can go to your room to save and look at the computer and look up different alien species and stuff. You can go to the bar and talk to the other people who are serving with you on your bridge simulator. So it's kind of neat that way. So they send you out on all these training missions. You have to learn to like navigate, use your sensors to find things, set repairs to parts of your ship after you've been attacked or you run into stuff. You have to communicate with the star bases and things. So there's a rudimentary radar right there at the bottom of the screen, and that felt kind of Wing Commander-ish. It really wasn't a bad game per se. Like, I thought it was fine. Like, I was fine with the hour I spent with it. I enjoyed myself, but I'm a Star Trek nerd. So I think the biggest hurdle with this game is its niche. If you are a Star Trek kid or adult, you're a Star Trek fan, then this game's probably great. But for just the average video gamer, I give it a thumbs down. I don't think that it's not exciting enough to get you to be like, ooh, this is fun and I want to play it. But in terms of Star Trek sci-fi nerds, I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. No problem with it whatsoever. General recommendation, no. Nerd recommendation, yes. If you like Star Trek, go give it a look. I thought it was fine. Next up, Street Racer. This is a weird one. So the box art, the way it said Street Racer, felt very similar to Street Fighter. And then you look at this and it's very, very clearly built off of the Mario Kart engine. I think there was 8 different racers you could pick. And then maybe it was only 6. I don't know. I can't remember now. But you drive around the tracks picking up boosts You don't have attack weapons in this, but you can like swing and punch things, and you can jump on top of other people, and when you hit them, you'll kind of like bash them out of the way. So it did feel like Mario Kart to an extent. The tracks were very, very, very short. And when I started the game, it said, in the options, it says, do you want 3 laps or 5 laps or 8 laps? And I was like, 3, please. In a 3-lap race, even further into the game, the tracks you're done with 3 laps in a matter of minutes. Like 2-3 minutes, you're done. It's like less than a minute a lap. It's crazily short. And I didn't realize that going in. I'd have probably left it at 5 otherwise. It didn't feel particularly difficult. I was Biff. I was getting first place a lot. The characters are very stereotyped badly, kind of racially stereotyped badly. The music and visuals were okay. Like, they were all right. They were acceptable. I didn't have a big problem with those. There is a rumble mode, which I thought would be like Mario Kart, like balloon mode, and no, it is a single map, which is a big square that's reminiscent of the Mario Ghost houses. So when you bump into the side, the blocks fall off, and essentially you are just slamming into each other, attempting to knock the other racers off of the thing. There are 8 players you can choose from, I was right. And that's it. That's all Rumble is. It's up to 4 players, but there's nothing more to it other than that one arena hitting each other. This was the thing that I was most interested right here. Soccer. So I thought, oh, this is going to be like an early scale Rocket League. No. This is, again, a very, very small piece of a soccer field with one goal, and everybody's trying to get the ball. You are on 2 teams of 4. You're trying to get the ball, drive up, and then press a button to basically launch the ball into the goal. The goalie is a pong paddle that just goes back and forth. And it was very, very difficult. The field is so small, it doesn't feel like you have any room to maneuver. Plus, when the ball is moving, if you don't have it, the field is so small and it moves so fast that by the time you turn around to go back towards the ball, it's coming the other direction again. And it just felt very, very chaotic, but not in a fun way. Like, I did not enjoy this game. I do not recommend this game. Street Racer's a thumbs down. Go play Mario Kart. And if you want soccer, play an actual soccer game, because this one's not good. I had hope for this specific piece, but it just completely fell apart for me. Next up, Power Instinct. Speaking of 90s cash grabs on the fighter genre, this is also extremely similar to Street Fighter. It does not have the 6-button controls. It is a strong weak punch, strong weak kick. But the moves, they at least have the power moves in this, like the Hadouken or the Chun-Li kick. Whereas Rise of the Robots didn't have anything like that. This one does have the average special moves. It's got the overworld travel around fight map. This was a competent fighting game. I did enjoy my time with it. It was a fine game. I can't remember if I beat it or not. I don't think I did. But I had no problem with Power Instinct. Totally fine. If you like fighting games and it's one you've not tried, go look it up. It was totally cool. Like the backgrounds were good. The music was fine. Everything was fine. It's not Street Fighter polish, but it was good. It was playable, enjoyable. Go give it a look. And finally, Pieces. Pieces is a arguably 2-player versus competitive puzzle building game where you're building puzzles. And the colors are fine. The puzzles are okay. The pieces aren't anything crazy. They're just like regular old puzzle pieces. And you're just racing to see who can put the puzzles together first. And that's it. That is literally all this game is. And in my opinion, if you're going to build a puzzle, just buy a puzzle from the store for a couple bucks and build a puzzle. You'll probably have more fun talking with your spouse, significant other, friend, person, sibling, building a puzzle on your kitchen table than you will in this, trying to kind of keep an eye on this little power meter. And when you do fill the power meters, it does things like, oh, your controls are reversed for a little while, or oh, it'll mix your pieces up. There is a mode where in multiplayer, it will give you fake pieces that don't go in your puzzle in that top little bar where you're trying to pick from. So there's a little challenge there, but in the end, like, it's just making a puzzle. Like, I would much rather just sit at my kitchen table and make a puzzle. So if you're interested in puzzling, just do that. Make a puzzle at home. You don't need the video game for it. Also, it's actually kind of pricey because I think it was one of those tightest games that just didn't sell well or something. Not worth it. Don't look up pieces. If you're going to pick any game from this, pick the one I gave a thumbs up to. That's Power Instinct. But that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me on Recap 105. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying everything. Appreciate y'all very much. Have a good one.